Hello everyone, Storm11 here. Today we'll be having an early look into Christmas Eve, Christmas. It's right around the corner. We're about a week from Christmas at this time here. But before we get started here, take a early look to Christmas. I want to show you guys some crazy stuff that we had. If you guys know of that a nor'easter hit the northeastern United States, it has well overperformed by a lot. And the highest snowfall forecast I've seen was by the Weather Channel with 3 feet, and it still overperformed. And this is by Jason Ludwig, and he had a report of 43 inches of snow. That is a crap ton of snow, and this is another official report. The highest I've seen yet was 45 inches of snow here in Broome County, New York, and that's a trained spotter as well. And this is the map of the snowfall here. And this was back at 8. Well, actually, let's go to the more updated one. So this was 1 o'clock earlier today. And you can see here, kind of around this region right here, had the bullseye with over 36 inches of snow. And it even happened across portions of Vermont and New Hampshire. This happened a little bit further northwest than what I was thinking. I was thinking the bullseye was going to be in eastern Pennsylvania. The bullseye actually happened across south central New York and into southern Vermont and southern New Hampshire. These folks here had multiple hours of very high snowfall rates. The highest snowfall rate I've seen so far, which I think it was this region right here, was 6 to 7 inches of snow per hour. And that's just some extremely high snowfall rates. But you can also tell we have widespread 8 to a foot of snow across the Northeast. So very impressive stuff here. And I was only forecasting over 18 inches of snow, but I thought the max was going to be 24 inches, but instead we actually got, some areas got at least 40 inches of snow, which is quite ridiculous there as well. And we also broke some records as well. So yeah, on that, I mean, pretty crazy time. And also, some people may not know that there was a pileup on Interstate 80. I believe it's in New York here. And you can see here, pretty big mess there. And unfortunately, if I'm correct, there has been 4 fatalities with this. If I'm correct, at least is what I've heard. So that is very unfortunate there. But now let's get into the main portion of the video. Let's talk about Christmas time. Now I'm also a bit consistent with this, mainly with the troughing, but not everything else. So let's get into that. So we'll start off with the GFS. There's going to be a weak system coming through sometime this weekend here across the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley. There's a chance that there will be some accumulating snows across Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio, and even as far south as Kentucky here. So we don't really expect major impacts, just minor snowfall accumulations there as well. And it can also go up across portions of Pennsylvania, maybe New York State as well. And the GFS is even trying to pop up a system just off the East Coast there, so we're going to see what's going to happen there. Still some uncertainties with that. Alright, so here we go. This is the 23rd. This is early Wednesday morning. And as you can see here, we have a pretty deep low developing across portions of the Midwest, bringing quite a bit of snow across the upper Midwest, upper Michigan there. Then we get a very, very strong cold front. We also got some pretty strong winds out ahead of us. This is the night of the 23rd here. And as you can see here, pretty good amount of snow behind this cold front here. Even at times this heavy snow there as well. And this is going to be looking to be a pretty strong system here. And this is Christmas Eve morning. And as you can see here, there's places experiencing some heavy snow across, Alabama, well, northern Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, and the Great Lakes region. Then there's going to be another mini clipper system, and here we go onto Christmas morning, early Christmas morning, heavy snow going on across the Northeast, and also a little clipper system here going across the Tennessee Valley could bring in a little bit more snow. But man, look at the Great Lakes. A lot of lake effect snow going on there. So those folks probably at this point is looking likely to see a white Christmas due to this strong trough. But we have some differences with this. Here's how the setup's going to be going. So far, we're going to follow this solution right here as a strong cold front. I'm also be going back and forth that there may be another system that will develop in somewhere in the Gulf Coast states and move up along that front and could possibly bring in some winter storm potential. Now, there's some very high uncertainties with that, but at this time, this is probably what we're looking at right now as the primary solution. There is a pretty good agreement with the GFS 18Z and also the latest European model as well. So let's move on to the European model. So it's going to move on to Christmas. There could be a fast clipper system early next week. And here comes your system here now. Probably well underdoing the precipitation here, but we still have a pretty strong low going across the Great Lakes there. 982 millibars, that's a pretty strong low. You can see it in that goes by. Probably a little bit too progressive for my taste here as well. I've also been having trouble with that. And this is Christmas Eve night. And you can see there are pretty active lakes again. And also showing some snow showers going on across the lower Ohio Valley there again. There as well. And eventually, this Arctic high may stick around for a while. It's actually going to be more of a polar high there as well, which I'll show you guys the temperatures in just a moment. So let's look at the Canadian model. Well, actually, let's go on ahead, get to GFS up with snowfall accumulations here. Let's see here. Here's well, it doesn't look to be correct here. Here, looks like we maybe have technical difficulties there. But anyways, going back to the Canadian model, let's go around Christmas. Now this is possible. The Canadian model has a much weaker low across the Great Lakes, but then a low pressure system develops across the Gulf Coast states. And let me warn you guys, this is likely going to change a lot more. I actually have some doubts this is going to happen, but the possibility is there. You can see here as we kind of play through, your low pressure system develops across southern Mississippi, goes through Tennessee Valley, and if the Canadian model is correct, we could probably see an ice storm going on across portions of Arkansas, Tennessee to Kentucky, even going up across the Northeast, which shows widespread heavy sleet there as well. So, but again, this is likely going to change. This model's been going back and forth, but it's been kind of going back and forth with a low developing, the Gulf Coast states and move up along the front. GFS shows something similar to that in earlier runs as well. So we're going to see. There's still pretty high uncertainty with this here as well, but we'll be watching it closely there. So that actually may be correct here. So this is the snowfall totals here from the GFS here. Kind of around Christmas time. We actually should probably put this in 24 hours here, actually. So this is 24-hour snowfall accumulation. You can see here, it brings in a pretty good swath of, well, generally 3 to 6 inches of snow there across northern Wisconsin up across upper Michigan. You can see our accumulating snow seems possible across the Appalachian states, even as far south as Tennessee there as well. So there's probably a chance that some of these areas here could see a white Christmas, which it's actually very rare across some of these regions here, which I'll show you guys what it takes to have a white Christmas. So this is on average. This is the probability for each year of seeing a white Christmas. The only areas that see a 90 to 100% chance of seeing white Christmas is really actually northeastern Minnesota, upper Michigan, far northern Wisconsin, and also across portions of Maine as well. And that's it. That's the only area showing 90 to 100% chances there as well. And you can see here what areas that may have the potential, like portions of Kentucky could see something like that, but it's a little bit too early to get into that. But you can see here, the chances do get very low as you get pretty decently far to the south. I mean, 5 to 10% chance. Yeah, that's extremely low, and it's pretty rare to see a white Christmas across some of these states here. But the criteria, in order to have a white Christmas, generally you need an inch or greater of snow on the ground. So that's how you get that's what's considered a white Christmas there as well. And it seems like the possibility some of these regions here, kind of in the much lower percentage range, could possibly see a white Christmas, but the uncertainty is very high with that there as well. Not always snow could be a little bit of a deal across portions of the Ohio Valley and places like that. Let's actually take a look to temperatures because that trough is going to be moving in behind that front. It's going to be pretty strong. So this is Christmas morning here. As you can see here, this is the GFS model. This is temperatures, air temperatures, nearly negative 20 degrees across portions of Minnesota. That's very cold, to say the least there. And you can see your freezing point could be as far south as really close to the Alabama and Florida state border there, which is very far to the south there as well. And this is what we have a really good agreement on. We pretty much know at this point that we're going to see a pretty strong trough or a very strong high pressure system moving in across a good chunk of the United States here, bringing in very cold temperatures for Christmas here. And you can see here, now this is the highs, and you can see here, barely makes it out the negatives. I mean, below zero. That's ridiculously cold there, and that's stuff we've got to pay attention to. And let's take a look at the Canadian model. As you can see here, not as cold for Christmas morning, but we still see temperatures below zero, especially across Iowa here, Wisconsin. So it's looking to be very cold. You can see here, very cold temperatures. It's looking probably going to be a likely scenario at this point for the Midwest, although things could still change from now till then since we're still a week out. And this is the European model. So going around Christmas time, a little bit similar to the GFS here. You can see our temperatures, yeah, negative 21 degrees across portions of Wisconsin and Minnesota. So very cold temperature seems a pretty good possibility here around Christmas time. So this is definitely something we got to pay attention to as well. And I mean, look at that freezing line. It goes very far to the south. I mean, at least nearly all of the United States will be below freezing with temperatures, which is quite ridiculous. But changes can still be made. I mean, this far out, and we'll see about that. And this is the GFS ensembles. Now, this is Christmas right here. We got a trough that moves in across the portions of the central and eastern United States. Meanwhile, across the Pacific Northwest, there'd be ridging building up. We got positive PNA going on. Meanwhile, just northeast of Maine, there's going to be a negative NAO as well. And what that happens, well, you can get a strong trough across portions of the eastern United States. And this is what we're seeing around Christmas time. So this is definitely something we got to pay attention to again. We got a pretty good agreement with this. And this is the GFS ensembles with temperature anomalies compared to normal. We can get to those purple colors, that's 6 to 8 degrees below normal. And you can see here we got a lot of blues showing up. could be a little bit above average, across portions of Montana and the Dakotas there, and also for the even for the New England states as well, and that's it. Everywhere else is either average or below average, really. So it's definitely looking like we could be seeing a pretty cold Christmas this year. And this is also the European ensembles here, and you can see here again, troughing across the eastern United States. So, and this is the Climate Prediction Center outlook here for 6 to 10 days. This does go through Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. You can see below average temperatures across the eastern United States, mainly the southeastern United States, and also a little bit warmer than average across the central and western United States, and also for Maine as well. So, what do we know at this point? Well, what we do know is this seems to be a pretty likely scenario that we'll see troughing across the eastern United States and also ridging across the west and probably across portions of Maine as well. What we do not know yet is who's going to see a white Christmas. A lot of changes will likely be coming pretty soon. We're going to see if we're going to see any changes with the models here between now and then. But for right now, it's looking pretty likely we'll have a trough in the east. Very cold temperatures. It's looking to be a possibility there as well. But anyways, guys, this is Ark for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. If you got questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.